When your children don't respect you, do this instead. 6 powerful ways to regain respect. Hello, I'm so glad we have this time to talk today. We love our children more than words can say. We sacrificed for them. We nurtured them. You must stop overgiving and start having a life of your own. My time is not as valuable as your time. This doesn't mean you stop loving them or helping them. You must consciously move from being the unsolicited advice giver to being an active listener. This is one of the hardest habits for a parent to break. We see our children struggling, and our love and experience compel us to jump in with a solution. We say, "Here's what you need to do," or "If I were you, I would." We have the very best of intentions. We just want to help them avoid the mistakes we made. It means you stop offering unsolicited help. When you constantly offer solutions, the unspoken message they hear is, "I don't trust you to handle this on your own. I don't think you're capable." Whether it's their career, their marriage, or how they raise their own children, your unsolicited advice can feel like a vote of no confidence. And nobody respects someone who they feel is constantly judging their competence. It's a natural reaction for them to become defensive, to pull away, or to dismiss your advice simply to assert their own independence. It means when they ask for your time, you check your own calendar first. When your child comes to you with a problem, bite your tongue. Your only job in that moment is to listen and to validate. You can use simple, powerful phrases like, "Wow, that sounds really difficult," or "I can see why you're so frustrated." Then ask them a question that shows you trust their judgment. A simple, "How are you thinking of handling it?" is revolutionary. This question transfers all the power back to them. It tells them that you see them as a smart, capable adult who has the resources to solve their own problems. It turns you from a critic or a director into a safe sounding board. They might even ask for your opinion after they've talked it through. And at that point, it will be received not as a command but as a respected consultation. And this simple act of listening more than you speak is one of the most profound ways to show them you see them as a capable adult, which is the very foundation of mutual respect. It means it's okay to say, "I'm sorry I can't babysit on Friday, I have my book club meeting." Or, "I'd love to help with that, but I can't this weekend, I'm taking a painting class." You need to fill your own life with things that bring you joy, passion, and purpose, things that have absolutely nothing to do with your children. Reconnect with old friends. Take that trip you've always talked about. Join a walking group. Volunteer for a cause you believe in. When your life is full, interesting, and important to you, it automatically becomes more interesting and important to others. Your children will start to see you not just as mom or dad, the ever-available resource, but as a whole person with a rich and fascinating life. They will have to start scheduling time with you, and your time together will become more precious. Your value in their eyes will inevitably rise. "I have nothing better to do than wait for you to need me." This kind of unlimited, unconditional availability, while born from love, doesn't breed respect. It can breed expectation and eventually entitlement. People, including our children, don't place a high value on something that is always available in unlimited supply. To put it simply, you can't be the interesting, vibrant main character in your own life story if you are always volunteering to be a supporting character in theirs. For decades, our lives revolved around our children's needs. Their soccer practice, their homework, their heartbreaks. It was our job and we did it with love. The problem is many of us never stopped. Our children are now grown, capable adults, but we are still hovering, ready to swoop in and solve their problems, offer financial bailouts, provide free babysitting on demand, and put their needs ahead of our own every single time. We poured our entire being into helping them become the independent adults they are today. And so, to feel devalued or dismissed by them cuts deeper than almost anything else. It can make us feel confused, angry, and deeply sad. Our first instinct might be to demand respect, to say, "I am your parent, you need to respect me." But as we know, respect doesn't really work that way. It can't be effectively demanded. It can only be commanded. Not through force, but through our own actions, our own boundaries, and the way we carry ourselves. Maybe it's in a phone call where you can hear them typing or multitasking while you're trying to share something important, their ahas so obviously distracted. Maybe it's when they talk to you in a tone that is dismissive or condescending, explaining something to you as if you were a child. Or perhaps it's the unsolicited advice about your health, your finances, or your life, delivered with an air of authority, as if you haven't successfully navigated life for 60, 70, or even 80 years. They roll their eyes when you tell a story they've heard before. They make decisions about family events without consulting you. They treat your time as if it's endlessly available, and your wisdom as if it's expired. I want to touch on something that is deeply personal, something that can be incredibly painful, and something that so many of us experience in silence. It's that quiet. If it doesn't, it stagnates in an old pattern where we are the permanent giver and they are the permanent receiver. And this imbalance is often the root cause of disrespect. So today, we are going to talk about 6 powerful ways you can begin to shift this dynamic. This isn't about blaming your children or creating conflict. It's about changing your side of the equation. It's about reclaiming your own power and reteaching them, gently but firmly, how you deserve to be treated. Sinking feeling you get in your heart when you feel that your own adult children don't respect you. It's probably not one big dramatic event. It's more often a series of small, subtle moments that leave a sting. When this happens, it can be profoundly disorienting. The truth is, the dynamic between a parent and a child has to evolve. Let's start with the first and perhaps most fundamental way to regain respect. When we do this, we inadvertently send a powerful message. My life is not as important as your life. The solution is to consciously and deliberately pull back. This leads us directly to the second powerful shift. But you have to see it from their perspective. The powerful alternative is to become a world-class listener. And modeling this kind of clear, respectful communication is not just about getting what you need in the moment. It's about teaching the next generation how to build healthier relationships in their own lives as well. And it requires us to look at our own history and habits. They are a form of emotional manipulation. They are designed to induce guilt. And guilt is not the same as respect. This is perhaps the most difficult, but also the most definitive act of self-respect. If you have set clear financial and personal boundaries, and yet a child continues to speak to you disrespectfully, what is the common thread running through all of these ideas? It is the profound and life-altering shift from focusing on their behavior to focusing on your own. You are recalibrating a relationship that has been decades in the making. It takes courage, it takes consistency, and it takes patience. If you feel comfortable, perhaps you could share one small step you might consider taking in the comments below. Your journey could inspire someone else. If you found this video valuable, I would be so grateful if you would give it a like and subscribe for more conversations about navigating the challenges and joys of this chapter of life. There may be pushback. Your child may be confused or even angry at first when the old familiar rules suddenly change. But you must hold firm with love in the knowledge that you are not just doing this for yourself. You are doing it for the health of the entire relationship. You are fighting for a new kind of connection, one based on mutual respect between two whole independent adults. And you are absolutely worthy of that. It's about cultivating your own life so that you are more than just a parent. It's about shifting your communication from accusation to honest expression. It's about establishing firm boundaries around your time and resources. And above all, it's about prioritizing your own self-respect. To ignore your needs or to treat you poorly, you have every right to protect your own peace. This can take many forms. It can be as simple as saying on the phone, "You know, it sounds like you're very upset right now, and the way this conversation is going is hurtful to me. Let's talk another time when we can both be calmer," and then gently ending the call. It might mean declining an invitation to a family event where you know you will be subjected to a toxic dynamic. You must be willing to create space or step back when necessary. I love you and I will always love you, but I also love and respect myself enough not to be your emotional punching bag. My well-being is not negotiable. This is not a punishment. It is a natural consequence. You are teaching them that access to you is a privilege, and that privilege requires a baseline of kindness and respect. For many children who have fallen into a pattern of disrespect, this is often the only thing that works. Your willingness to choose your own well-being over a dysfunctional interaction is the most powerful lesson you can teach. It demonstrates true self-respect, and that is something everyone, including your children, will ultimately have to acknowledge. This is not about ultimatums, silent treatments, or dramatically cutting off your children. It is the quiet, firm internal decision that you will not participate in your own mistreatment. It is the ultimate boundary. In fact, it is its enemy. When you use past sacrifices as leverage, you are essentially telling your child that your love came with a hidden price tag, that they are permanently indebted to you. This doesn't make them feel love or respect. It makes them feel trapped and resentful. They may comply with your wishes out of that guilt, but it will be a hollow victory, and the distance between you will grow wider. We must stop using guilt or past sacrifices as a tool to get what we want in the present. This can be a bitter pill to swallow because our sacrifices were very real. We gave up sleep, opportunities, and personal desires for the well-being of our children. We did it out of love. But when we feel hurt or disrespected today, it can be tempting to reach back into that historical file and pull out a receipt. We say things like, "After all I've done for you, you can't even call me back?" Or, "You have no idea what I gave up so that you could have a better life." This leads us to our fifth powerful way to regain respect. While these statements may be factually true, the sacrifices you made were gifts. They were given freely out of love at that time. A true gift has no strings attached. By letting go of the need to be repaid for them, you free both yourself and your child. You allow your current relationship to be judged on its own merits, on the people you are today. Your worthiness of respect is not based on what you did for them 20 years ago. It is based on the wise, interesting, and whole person you are right now. When you stop keeping a ledger of past good deeds, you create the space for a genuine present-day connection to flourish. The truly powerful and respectable position to take is to consciously release the past. And that brings us to our sixth and final point. If you have communicated your feelings using I statements, it's about sending a calm, clear, non-verbal message that says, "So as we bring our conversation to a close, please know that this is not a quick fix. Thank you for trusting me with your time on such a personal topic. Here's to you and to the strong, healthy, and respectful relationships you so richly deserve. Take very good care." And this simple act of listening more than you speak is one of the most profound ways to show them you see them as a capable adult, which is the very foundation of mutual respect, but is absolutely crucial for shifting the dynamic. This brings us to our third powerful way to regain respect. You must stop being the family. This is our fourth powerful way. You must learn to communicate your own feelings and needs using I statements. When we feel disrespected, our natural reaction is to go on the attack. We use accusatory language. We say things like, "You never listen to me," "You're always so dismissive," or "You don't appreciate anything I do." ATM. The word "you" is like an arrow. It immediately puts the other person on the defensive. Their walls go up, and they stop listening to the message because they are too busy preparing their counter-argument. They will argue the facts. "That's not true. I called you last week." And the entire conversation descends into a pointless conflict about who is right and who is wrong, with the underlying emotional issue left completely unaddressed. You will walk away feeling unheard, and they will walk away feeling unfairly attacked. This cycle erodes respect from both sides. In a perfect world, we would love to shield our children from every financial hardship. This is done with I statements. The focus is on your feeling, not their character. You are not attacking them. You are inviting them to understand your internal experience. This is a mature, vulnerable, and incredibly powerful way to communicate. It stops the argument in its tracks and opens the door for empathy. It is also a lesson in itself. You are modeling for your children how a respectful adult communicates their needs. You are teaching them that your feelings matter, that there are consequences to their actions, and that you expect to be treated with emotional consideration. It takes practice, because for many of us, it's like learning a new language, but it is the language of mutual respect. And modeling this kind of clear, respectful communication is not just about getting what you need in the moment. It's about teaching the next generation how to build healthier relationships in their own lives as well. An I statement simply expresses your feeling about a specific behavior without accusation. It is a statement of your emotional reality, and because it's your reality, it cannot be argued with. For example, instead of saying, "You always interrupt me," you can pause, take a breath, and say, "I feel a little hurt right now because I really wanted to finish that story." Instead of "You're so dismissive," you could say, When I hear that tone of voice, I feel like my opinion isn't valued, and that makes me sad. It is a deep, primal instinct to want to provide for them and to ease their burdens. And if a true, dire emergency strikes, of course a loving parent helps if they are able, but what often happens is that this helping bleeds into a constant, unending stream of financial support for non-emergencies. It becomes the down payment for a car they can't quite afford, the funding for a vacation, or the regular buffer for their monthly budget mismanagement. Now let's talk about something that can be very difficult and emotionally charged. When you consistently act as a financial safety net for your capable, working adult children, it becomes nearly impossible for them to see you as a peer. The relationship remains stuck in the parent-child dynamic of provider and dependent. It is one of the greatest gifts you can give your adult child. It is the gift of self-reliance. It is the gift of allowing them the dignity of solving their own problems. It is the gift of their own self-respect, which is the necessary ingredient for them to respect you. This means learning the powerful and often difficult word, no. When asked for money for a non-emergency, you can say in a kind but firm tone, "I love you and I have confidence in you to figure this out, but I'm not able to help you with that financially." You don't need to over-explain or justify your decision. It is your money, your boundary. You can offer other kinds of support, like sitting down with them to help create a budget, or sharing your knowledge on how to save, but you must close the door on being a source of easy cash. When you do this, you fundamentally change the nature of your relationship. You move from being their provider to being their parent and their elder, a source of wisdom rather than a source of funds. And that is a position that naturally commands respect. This can breed a subtle and sometimes not so subtle form of disrespect. Your home can start to feel less like a place of family and more like a bank. Conversations can become tinged with financial expectation, and on your side, it can lead to deep resentment as you watch your own retirement savings dwindle to fund the lifestyle of another adult. It is hard for your child to respect your wisdom on life and relationships when the primary role you play in their life is a financial one. Establishing clear financial boundaries is not cruel. From the very practical boundary of money, we move to an equally important emotional boundary. Think about how that language is received. The way to break this cycle is to shift your language and speak only about your own experience. See the difference?